Oftentimes in the back in the sacristy is I'm best in. I'll ask Michael, one of our staple servers, and ask him. We talk about maybe the saints and what saints we celebrate today. And today I asked him, Michael, what's today? He I think I caught him a little bit in a daze, and he goes, Chiefs against Chargers. And part of me was like, that's my boy. But also, today's also Our Lady of Sorrows. Chiefs and Chargers, but also Our Lady of Sorrows. Yesterday was the exaltation of the cross, and what follows the cross, or what comes with the cross, is sorrow. And so the day following the exaltation of the cross is Our Lady of Sorrows. And I found myself this morning praying with two images. And the first image is an image probably some of us have seen. It's the seven sorrows and the seven swords that are piercing through Mary's heart. And, this is from Luke's gospel that we just heard, chapter 2 of Simeon's prophecy telling Mary, and you yourself a sword will pierce. And, of course, the image of swords piercing one's heart, there's violence there. But as I was praying with that image, is just the reality that there's also a violence to sorrow. There's a violence to it. There's a depth of pain that comes that we know with sorrow. And there's a question, and theologians have discussed, well, how much did Mary know? How much did she know that even in the midst of the seven sorrows, how much did she know that like the resurrection was going to come? She knew it was going to happen. And there's discussion on that and debate about that. But I think it's St. Bernard who says, like, to that question, it's like, yeah, so what? Like, even if she did know, it doesn't take away the sorrow that she must have felt and experienced. Even if she did know that in 3 days Jesus would rise from the dead. There's just things that are that bad. Mary, of course, at the foot of the cross with her son, of that sort of the violence of sorrow that was hitting her heart. There's an element in one of the prayers that we prayed of the valley of tears, of earth just being the valley of tears. And one of the seven sorrows is, I think it's the sixth sorrow is Mary with Jesus, him taking down from the cross. And so the other image I prayed with this morning was Michelangelo's Pieta. And one thing struck me with praying with that this morning was just Mary's hands. I don't know if you ever noticed it, but her right hand is around, like, just firmly holding on to Jesus's body as his body lays limp in the iconic Pietà. So the one hand is firmly grasps to his body, like holding on to him, but also holding on to the sorrow. It's like fully embracing the sorrow. But her left hand, which I hadn't noticed before, it's somewhat behind his body, but her left hand isn't holding him. It's out, just gently being held open, and it's upward. And I was, just praying with that. The Lord, just gave me this, this hand is softly open upward, as if like Mary's there just with this surrender and this trust in God's providence, even in the midst of this horrific situation. Instead of trying to control it, instead of trying to control the situation, her hands there just open upward in this spot of surrender and trust to God's providence. And her face in the Pietà isn't a face of worry, because it is the case even, so when we think of, Mary, of course, her sorrow is as a result of the pain and the sorrow that she feels for her son. And is it not the case that most of the sorrow that we feel is connected with those that we love the most, whether a child or grandchild or a sibling who especially is wayward, maybe with like spiritually. But her face is not a face of worry in the Pietà, because I think it's because she has that disposition with her left hand of this trust in God's providence. Because when we do try to grasp and control, the result is oftentimes worry. We're trying to take it and claim it and control it. And so where we're at today, and whatever it is of the violence of the violence of sorrow that we might be experiencing, and it may be with a child or a grandchild, it might just be a situation that's bringing about the violence of sorrow that we're sitting with today. Let's have that disposition of Mary as she's at the foot of the cross, as she's holding there's the dead body of her son with one hand, like holding on to him, not fleeing from the sorrow, but just there. And just, we're in the valley of tears, and I'm staying here, and I'm staying with him. And on the other hand is this open disposition of this surrender and trust to God's providence. Instead of trying to control it, I'm surrendering it to him. In that surrender, and so let us today ask the Blessed Mother's intercession as we turn to her today with Our Lady of Sorrows.